How many people have been killed in Gaza?
That there are 70,000 people who were killed. Many of them are children and women, not terrorists according to Israeli categories. When there is doing nasty things to clergy.
What kind of nasty things?
Front of church doors.
Really?
Yeah. I'm being caught on camera many times.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to expose a clip that the mainstream media refuses to reveal. It is an exclusive conversation between Tucker Carlson and the Archbishop of Jerusalem. We've been told for years that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East and the protector of religious freedom. But what you're about to hear straight from the mouth of someone who lives there, the indigenous Christian of Jerusalem, tells a very different story. Let's hear his shocking revelation.
So bishops, we visited the hospital and I would visit. I've been trying to visit the hospital. Others were successful, like other heads of churches managed to go there, both patriarchs, but I haven't, unfortunately.
It's a Christian hospital.
It's an Anglican Episcopal Christian hospital.
What is the name of it?
Al-Ahli Arab Hospital.
What kind of condition is it in?
It is now kind of in a condition that operates on minimal capacity. I don't know, I'm sure that people been following, I don't know how many people know about this, but it was hit at least 8 times during the war.
It was bombed 8 times?
Yeah.
Why?
There are different accusations why it happened. A kind of suspicion about activities in the hospital. And every time we asked for people to kind of prove, what was happening there, so that we at least know what is going on in our hospital. But every time we hear nothing. And unfortunately,
were people killed in those bombings?
On 2 incidents, there've been 2 big explosions. The first one happened only 2 weeks after or even less than 2 weeks from the beginning, on the 17th of October 2003, where a huge rocket fell. And it became really controversy. Israel accused Islamic Jihad for a misrocketed missile. In Gaza, they said no, that was Israeli rocket that came in, and there were 2 narratives at that time. Anyway, but this is the kind of thing that we.
Do we know the answer now?
No, I don't know the answer. People ask me, and I said, do I look like a soldier to you to tell you what happened there?
Well, it's your government. You were born in the country, and you can't get a straight answer about your hospital?
No, it was their answer was that it was a misrocketed missile.
But it was bombed 7 more times?
Yeah.
Do we know who did that?
No, the other ones, Israelis did that. They didn't comment on
Did they not know it was a hospital?
They know it was a hospital.
Why would they bomb a hospital? A Christian hospital?
Again, but as I said, they say when they do that there is suspicion of terrorist activities in the hospital.
How many people have been killed in Gaza?
Now we know that, I think I just read recently that even the government admitted that there's 70,000 who were killed. We have heard and we have seen that there's 70,000 people who were killed. Many of them are children and women, not terrorists according to Israeli categories.
Is it possible to know who can go to Gaza? At some point, I think it's fair to ask, what happened over the last couple of years in Gaza? Are we ever going to know?
I'm sure that we will know in one way or the other. But again, I think the catastrophe that happened there, nothing will heal. I just just by seeing the amount of destruction and the death that happened there, it just breaks one's heart.
Yes.
There are no words. And again, I'm sure that people will know who did it and why they did it and how did it come. And but for us, the bottom line, there are people who are suffering, there are people who are dying, and that's the result of violence, and which is devastating for us.
How are you treated in Israel?
Depending where you live, where you are, where you're walking. So I think, in many places in Israel, you are respected. There's freedom of movement. I can go in most places. There are places that are restricted to any civilian, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But, in general, I can go in many places. if I'm walking in the old city, for example, if I'm in my suit, all good, that's their mission. And they say it out loud, it's on their website, it's nothing hidden about
Are you talking about Al-Qaeda or?
No, I'm talking about Jewish radical groups, settler groups, yeah.
Do you face vandalism from Islamic groups in Jerusalem?
No, not to my knowledge, no. We don't have in Jerusalem?
Yes.
No.
So in the United States after 9/11, we were told, and I think it was.
And then they spoke about it in Israeli channels.
Good for them.
Yeah, of course. They name some. And that's why we have insisted on talking about reconciliation and building trust within the community. Calling the rabbis and, the imams and the Christian leaders, to teach their children about tolerance, about acceptance, and to refrain from incitement. And exclusion and alienation and demonizing the other. Like the Holy Land, the Middle East, Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived together here for centuries.
Yes.
This is not something that new that we're trying to understand.
No.
How to live together or how to manage our relationships. But unfortunately, I don't want to kind of accuse anybody, but outside forces have caused us to fight among ourselves.
I've noticed. What's happening in the West Bank?
In the West Bank, I think, and we have seen over the past few weeks especially, and actually not only a few weeks, even during the war, the escalation of violence of settlers in the West Bank has risen drastically. And not only to kind of Muslim neighborhoods and villages, but also to Christian villages.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, I can give you an example of the two recent examples. Is one in the town of Taibe, where actually you mentioned the Ambassador Huckabee. He himself went there to visit the village after these attacks of settlers, burning and graffiti on walls and going into these farms to harass farmers who are Christian. And recently also in Bir Zayt near Ramallah, where we had an attack of settlers on a woman. They hit her with a stone head and then they arrested her son after that.
Why did they arrest her son?
Because he tried to defend her, like his mother. And because of that, he was arrested.
And these are Christians?
Yeah, he's Christian.
How many U.S. administration officials weighed in on this? Did Ambassador Huckabee say anything about this?
No, he definitely said something about Taibe. I haven't seen anything about the last incident, but he went there in person actually and visited the place.
But the most recent attack, where a Christian woman was attacked by settlers with a rock to the head and her son was arrested for trying to defend her, Ambassador Huckabee hasn't said anything about that.
I didn't see anything myself, but he could.
Well, you would know since you're the Archbishop in Jerusalem, I think. I'm sorry, I just want to be very clear about his shameful anti-Christian behavior. I just want to be very clear about what I'm saying. What Ambassador Huckabee is doing is shameful, and he's going to have to answer for it. So if that's my opinion, you don't have to ratify that. But it's shocking to me.